Hi guys, Squirrel here, and welcome to a Train Sim World 2 video. Today we're going to look at the West Cornwall local DLC. So this is a scenario DLC for, well, Western Cornwall in the UK. Down in the very bottom left-hand corner of England. It's basically the Cornwall is the county, if you don't know the UK very well. And along the coast there, Penzance is, quite far down on the tip of southwest corner of England. And this line focuses on Penzance, and it goes all the way up to St Erth, so it's quite a long journey, that one. It also branches off and goes to St Ives. It's a very beautiful part of the world, and we're going to be driving it today on a lovely summer's day. You can see what the scenery's like. It is fantastic. We're going to be in a Class 150 diesel electric locomotive. It's a passenger train, 2 cars. We're just approaching Penzance now. Going to restart the scenario. The first thing we're going to do is clean our train, so we'll see that, because that's quite a bit of fun. But yeah, let's get started. Okay, as it says there, we are at Long Rock Depot. This is a depot just outside of Penzance, and the first thing we're going to do here is get our locomotive cleaned. We're going to take it through the little, well, it's like the train version of a car wash is all I can say it is. This is the Class 150, which is a diesel electric. There's no part of this line electrified, I don't believe. Let's do that. I'm just going to rip through this a second because we are a little bit tight on time in this scenario. So I'm just going to breeze down there. We have to drive down there. I think we have to change the points. Let me put the instrument lights on. That could go to on. Mark light switch is on. Good, okay, that should be set. Yes. Oh, hang on. Also got the tail lights need to go to off. That's better. Yeah, so we're going to go down here. I think we have to change the points ourselves because the drivers have to do everything around here. And then we're going to change the switch to take us into the train wash, get the train cleaned, and then down to Penzance. Then we're going to pick up passengers. We'll have a look at the timetable in a second, but like I say, it is a little bit aggressive. Keep the windows closed for now. So yeah, I don't think there's any part of this line is electrified, so they're all, just diesel electrics down here. Slow this down. Okay, stop. I believe we need to jump out now. Move to the manual junction. There we go. So we're going to flick this over to take us that way. What it calls Slipping State 2. It sounds like a computer term. Just throw the switch, boy. Throw the switch. Right, now look in top right there. 5 mile an hour limit in 500 yards. So I think as we go through the train wash, we have to... Ooh, hello. We have to just do 5 miles an hour. I think that was a Class 101. But for now, I'm just going to try and get some speed up. Because, like I say, it is an aggressive timetable, I think. So while we're on our route down there, let's quickly look at the timetable. So we've got to go through the car wash, or the carriage wash as it calls it. Penzance 8:12, so we need to be at Penzance at 8:12, and then we'll be going on our merry way. We'll talk through this in a second when we've got more time. I'll show you the map, and you can see what the line involves. Effectively, it goes from Penzance all the way up to St Erth, I think, but there's another bit at Truro where it goes from double to single track. And there's a branch off to St Ives as well. Okay, I think it wants me to stop here. Yeah, it does. Yeah, all along the coast. Looks fabulous. Oh, look at that. It's almost perfect. Start the carriage washer. Right, okay. Literally have to do everything around here. Well, this isn't very safe, is it? So, the carriage washer, yeah, there's no actual water coming out of them, which is a little bit disappointing. And I don't think our train is even dirty, which is even more disappointing. Because, actually, what you want is this train to be nice and dirty. And then you go through this thing and you can see the water spraying everywhere, and then what comes out the other side is lovely and clean. That's what you want. But there's not a lot of effort has gone into this part of it. Most of the effort seems to have gone into the actual mapping, which when we drive you'll see the scenery is lovely. It really is absolutely lovely, and the performance is great as well. So that's definitely not an issue. Got some speed though. Camera's going bonkers. So it wants us to stop here as well. And start the carriage washer. Wait, what? We just did that. Does that one turn off on its own then? Why are there two? Maybe that was the wash and this is the wax. Detergent, acid, no wash and frost. Okay, so I don't know why there's two. I was wondering if one of them was like the wash and then the second one was the rinse, but I don't think that's the case. It's just a little bit confusing. But, you know, we'll roll with it. We'll go with it. Ooh, it's another train. That looks like another 150 this time. Yeah, that's a 150. So the livery on this thing... Whoa, speeding. The livery on this thing says Regional Railways, which is quite an old livery. It's a real one, though. I think this scenario is set in, like, either the late 90s or early 2000s. I don't exactly know when. I didn't look it up. Which means that livery is an old one. They probably do that deliberately because it's easier to get a license, maybe. It's probably a commercial thing. But that's true of some of the other scenarios that I've driven where was that one past Didcot, I think, where you see like a power station, like the Didcot power station's not there anymore. But in the scenario, it is there because it was set during the 90s and things like that. That may be true of this line. There may be things here that you see where in real life, if you came here, like they're not there anymore, or it shows things that wasn't there, etc. So, yeah, I don't know the route that well. I've never been on it, I don't think. I'd like to go on it. It's a nice looking route. But just bear that in mind. It's not like present day or anything. But that livery, Regional Railways, was a real one. Right, next stop is Penzance. We need to be there at 8:12. We're looking good so far. When we get there, I'll turn on the AWS breaker. I think we have to change ends anyway, so I'll leave it off. We'll get in, we'll change the lighting and stuff, and then I'll throw the breaker when we get to the other side, because we have to head back out. While we've got a minute or two here, what I'll do is I'll show you. This is the actual, that's the full line, I think. Actually, no, this goes to Truro. There's another bit here which goes to St Austell, which is the single track part. And then that branch there, which goes to St Ives, that's a single track. All the rest of this is double. There's a few stops en route if we press the map key. Yeah, there you go. So there's St Austell. That is a single track section to Truro. And then this is what we're doing today. The scenario takes us to Truro and back, but we're just going to go to Truro, otherwise it'll be a very long video. But that is another branch line there. I don't think there's a scenario that takes you from Penzance to St Ives. Actually, I think there is one scenario where you have to change train. But you could create your own timetable if you want to do that. The actual line up to Truro or all the way to St Austell is quite a quick section. Like the stops are like every few miles. It's not like a heavily stopping service. If that's what you're after, this is not that. This is more about, you know, taking holiday people, I guess, up and down the coast to different parts of the county. That is a Class 101, I believe. I have driven that in a previous video, but not on this map. The Class 101 is the one where it's almost like double declutching on old cars. when you want to change from one gear to the next, you have to go via neutral. So it can be a bit fun. You can't just go from like second to third. You have to go from second to neutral and then go from neutral to third. And it can really catch you out because it's like, you know, patting your head and rubbing your tummy a little bit. It takes a bit of coordination. You get used to it, but it's very unnatural. Anyway, there's Penzance. We've got a few minutes, so hopefully we can get out of here on time. What you find though is if you... Oh, the water's there. If you take your time at the start there, you end up not getting into here on time, and then you're late for the whole scenario. It's a bit of a pain. So bear that in mind if you ever try this particular scenario. Some of the ones in this DLC, some of the scenarios are very long. Some of them are like 100 minutes, 150 minutes. Like there's some big scenarios. The timetable, if you went from one end to the other, is about an hour. If you go from Penzance to St Erth, it's about an hour, I think. It gives you an idea of, you know, and that's an hour of driving at a fair speed, so there's a lot of map here. I've noticed the passengers are behaving better than they used to. In Train Sim World 2, the passenger movement seems to be a lot better. It's not perfect, and that guy, you know, see, he didn't have a shadow. Yeah, oh, I see. The shadow draw distance is quite short. They do sort of work around each other. I've seen them walk up and sit down at benches and things, so they've definitely moved it on a notch. Right, we've got like 1.5 minutes to make this happen. Right, let's get some lights off. Instrument lights are off. Tail light switch is on. Destination off. Marker light switch is off. Put that in the middle. Brake to full service. Reverser into off. Master key is out. Right, we'll now run down to the other end of the train. No jumping on this train. It requires a specialist expert to drive this complicated beast. Don't go jumping in there. Close the door. Right, so I'm going to throw the breaker. I can't remember if this line has AWS activated or not, but we'll throw it anyway. The train has it, that's the main thing. Marker lights, instrument lights, tail lights off, destination light switched on. Running. Let's get the doors open. Get the passenger loaded. We've got anything else? Let's have a look at the front. Front looks configured, so we're all good there. Loading passengers. Yeah, you can see them walking down the platform now, and then they kind of get on the train and stuff. But if you keep your eye out for benches and things, you'll see them like get up from benches and sit down on benches and stuff. If you see them just walking in there, then collapsing onto the platform, you can see how good it is. I have not seen that on Train Sim World 2 yet, but yeah, apparently that's the thing here. I guess that's just Penzance for you. Anyway, let's get these doors locked because we're about to leave. Oh my god. Right, remove the brake in, get some throttle going. Let's see, what have we got? So we've got about a 15-mile-an-hour limit. So we're actually left on time, which is great. We've got a yellow aspect and a 70-mile-an-hour limit coming up, so maybe there's a train ahead of us. Maybe that 101 we saw earlier, maybe that's ahead of us at the moment. It is a double-track section, though, so we're okay on that score. So the timetable says St Erth at 8:21. Hayle at 8:28, Camborne 8:36, Redruth 8:43, and then Truro 8:54. That's where we're going to stop. We're not going to do the return. Absolutely lovely coastal scenery. Absolutely love it. I mean, You would not be unhappy to be a train driver on this particular line, because it would just make you smile every morning. Look at it. Unless, of course, the wind and rain was coming in horizontally. That might be interesting. Right, 70-mile-an-hour limit sign, but it only applies when the back of the train goes through it. Which I've always found interesting, because I'm not really sure how the driver knows when the back of the train's gone over that marker. Like, it's not so bad in a short train. But if you've got like an 8-car train, how do you even guess when the back of the train's gone over the speed limit? I don't know. Anyway, we're on our way. So, we should now go... Oh, look at that roundabout. We should now go past the carriage cleaning bit and then the siding where we started. So you'll see that first on the left. And then we kind of turn left and go inland a little bit. There's a yellow aspect, but the AWS did not kick off. That's interesting. It should have done. I'm sure this line has the AWS blocks on the track. How strange. Right, I'm trying to keep the speed up. 4.4 miles to destination, and we've got 6 minutes to get there. There's the carriage wash on the left. Probably still running. Actually, no, that's the fueling bit. The carriage wash bit was back there. That's the siding that we started in. I'm going to back off because we've got a red aspect coming up in half a mile for some reason. I'm also going to open the window because I like hearing the outside a little bit. Not used to the braking on this thing yet, so I don't want to bust a red light. I think I can see it right ahead there, you see. Yep. Like I say, I'm guessing that 101 is ahead of us, maybe. See if we can see anything. There he is. I think that's him. Ah, the AWS does work. Good to know. Is this going to clear before we stop? I don't think it is. We're not going to be lucky, I don't think. Oh, you scumbag, look at that. It's like traffic lights. Traffic lights do that. They wait till you stop and put the parking brake on, and then they're like, hey, we'll go green now. I swear, man, the timing. Right, if we're going to be chasing this guy, we may start seeing yellows as we chase him through the yellows. But we'll see how it goes. Depends if he's stopping at the station we do. Yeah, so the double track is like curving inland a little bit now. Coast is still over there, but we're not quite at the edge of it. What's the actual wiper control on this thing? DRA off. Destination blind, Penzance. Wait, does that say Penzance? Shouldn't say Penzance. Should say Truro. Hey, there we go. It says Truro now. It'll say Penzance on the way back. Again, it never tells you to do this stuff, and you don't get penalised if you don't. It's just one of those things. Oh, there's the wipers. There's the wiper blades right there. Right, 2.3 miles green lights and 2.6 to platform. We are on an incline. hopefully we're on time, but it is looking very tight, the schedule. Okay, I have to take into account the braking of this train, which I'm not familiar with. Normally I sort of say, you know, less than a mile, think about braking. 3/4 of a mile, definitely want to be braking, but it does depend on the train. This is an oldish train, so... Yeah, I don't think we're going to be keeping the schedule going, to be honest. No way are we going to get in the on time and leave on time. Very aggressive. It also depends on this incline. If we're braking uphill, that'd be a lot easier. Right, that's a mile out. I'm going to kill the throttle now. Maybe that's a bit too heavy on the brake. Maybe brake level 1 should do it. Yeah. I think because we were going uphill, actually we're going downhill now. That's interesting. I'm trying to stick to the schedule, but it's really tricky when you don't know the braking capability of the train. And let's face it, it's all about the braking. Wow, look at that. 1.4% downhill gradient. I have massively overbraked this. Okay, well, it's better overbraking it than underbraking it. Being late is better than blasting through a red light, and we have got a red light coming up. That's interesting. Where did that come from? Yeah, this train doesn't want to stop at the end. I had to go to full service there. There we go. Not the best braking in the world, but I'm not used to the train yet. Okay. Doors are open and we have a red aspect. So let's see. Load passengers 8:21:30. Stop at Hayle 8:28. Can't go anywhere with a red aspect. This is the bit where it branches off. You see that? This is it branches off to go to St Ives that way. That's the single track bit. There is a siding here, but you can see it go off that way to St Ives. So it was red and then it mysteriously went green. Right, 45 mile limit coming up. Why are we chasing a red light? What's going on? Do you know what? I think we are chasing that Class 101. I think that's what's happening. Denied. Yeah. There's definitely something. Something up ahead. I don't know what though. Don't know how we're going to make it on time though if they don't flick the switch soon. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where you'd pick up your handset, isn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, apologise for the delay. I'm just trying to find out from the signaller what the reason is. In other words, it's not my fault, Governor. It's somebody else's, but he's not telling me. I don't know about you, but I don't see anything on the line between here and there. Finally! Thing is, I don't even know what the hold-up was because I can't see anything. Right, next stop, Hayle, platform 2. We have a 45-mile-an-hour limit, probably through the platform. There you go, warning 45 miles an hour, right there. Right, I'm going to try and get the braking a bit better on this one. So I'm thinking about 0.4 of a mile maybe start braking. We are braking uphill though, so there is that. Again, a bit too early I think. Must be on the other side of that bridge. Oh, wicked bridge coming in. Look at this. Do appreciate a lovely train bridge. It's not an arched one though. That water, right, they need to work on that. That water is not the best, is it? It's very odd. Yeah, so I basically made us like a minute late just by what can only be described as terrible braking. I'm not sure if I just press that twice and it's going to shut the doors. They are expertly boarding. That's just amazing. Is that the Class 150 that's broken, or is that this scenario? Are they doing it at the back? Yeah, they're doing it. I think it must be the train. It must be the train. Because they're doing it at the back of the train as well. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I've seen this before. No, lock left. I've had this before. I clicked that button twice and it's confused it. Oh dear, oh dear. I think the doors are broken now. I think what I have to do I remember. Now that one's closed. Now I can go. Yeah. That is a bug on this train that I have seen before, and it's very annoying. So the way that started... Remember I said to you at the start, I think I might have clicked that twice, because I clicked it and nothing happened, and I clicked it again. And then the door opened, but then it goes into this weird thing where it won't let you close the door. And the only fix is to run back there and do that to it. So that's busted the train schedule, but, you know, that's not really on me, that one. Anyway, it's not a fault of the scenario, that's a fault of the train, I think. Bungalows! Okay, so what's the next stop? Next stop is Camborne. 8:36, which is not going to happen. We are here, and our next stop is there. But, you know, we'll try. We'll get up to the full speed limit, see how long we can hold it. Enjoy the scenery on the way. It's a shame this has got some bugs with it, actually, because it's quite a nice little train to drive. And it does look very good. Right, there's going to be a 50-mile-an-hour limit en route. Bridge! Yay! Nice bridge. Stone arched bridge. Lovely. They don't build things like that anymore. You know? It's a bridge from a bygone era. This is a heck of a climb up here. 5,631 action points. I think that's what it calls them. Oh, look at that. Fantastic. You know what fascinates me the most about bridges like that? Is not so much how lovely they look. What fascinates me is the tools they had available to build them at the time. Like, they didn't have diesel cranes, you know, and lifting devices. They had ropes, horses, wooden scaffolding, and yet they could make magnificent things like that, which they don't even make now, even though they have an insane amount of tools at their disposal to build them. You know, all the pieces in that bridge, like a stonemason had to sit there and cut them to shape. Then they had to be hoisted up, put into position and set. And then when you build an arch, you have to like build it. You have to build around it, then build the arch, and then remove the scaffolding so the bridge then rests under its own weight under the compressive load as it pushes on the adjacent stones. It's just fantastic. When you consider the tools they had, it's incredible. We have a 50-mile-an-hour limit coming up. But right now, the incline is so great that we're not getting anywhere near that speed. Nevertheless, I'm going to back off on the throttle now. Just keep a little bit of throttle in to try and hold it up this gradient. So the countryside is like opening out now as we get more inland. But yeah, Cornwall does... There aren't many flat bits in Cornwall. It is quite a rolling kind of hillside type place. A lot of hills, a lot of undulation. And of course trains don't like that much, so they had to cut through it as best they could. There's the 50 sign. Of course, now we're going down a hill, so I'm just going to back off on the throttle now. Right, it's gone up to 60. Okay, 2 miles to destination. We're already fashionably late. You can blame it on a faulty door. I mean, that's a real-world excuse right there. We had a fault on the train. We literally did. Right, we've got a red aspect at the station that we're going to by the look of it. We're also coming into the station going downhill. No, now we're going uphill. I was about to say, so braking could be quite interesting. I am desperately trying to keep the speed up as best as possible. Okay, when do I start braking? That's the question. We have got quite a severe incline. It's going to help us slow down. Also, we need to get back in here because we're going to have a AWS kicking off in a minute. So we're gradually losing speed and we're not even braking yet. Okay, 500 yards, 400. Yeah, I don't know. I just keep braking too early on this train. It's actually quite annoying. Tricky one to get right. You know what? I think we're just going to stop here. They'll have to walk. Alright, let's try not to press this twice. There we go. They're not too fussed. They're fine. Right. Where's the next stop? Next stop is Redruth, 8:43. And then after that is Truro, 8:54. So yeah, one more stop and then Truro, then we're done. I might even get the braking right towards the end, you never know. Okay, now the doors work. Amazing. What's even more amazing is the way that it changes to a green aspect. Exactly when the passengers are on board. But yeah, just looking at the scenery and stuff, like the modelling is, considering how many miles of track there are here, it's pretty well done. It's sufficiently varied and interesting, but I couldn't tell you if it's authentic. They usually are decent, you know? They have all the major things in there, usually. Oh, somebody's washing in the garden. Right, 3.2 miles to Redruth. I reckon that's about 4 or 5 minutes away. It's certainly not been without some problems, this particular line. Messing up the braking combined with broken doors has made us very late. So many level crossings on this. Crazy. The thing is about this line as well is you can take some of the freight trains down it, but I've not tried them. I'm not sure what freight it moves along this line, to be honest. But I think they've got the old school British Rail trains, like the class 37, I think. Maybe the 40. Yeah, maybe the 40. Not sure what else. Actually, if I remember, I think one of them's a mail car run. But really, I think the PAX is where it's at on this line. Right, got a 40-mile limit just before the station, so I'm guessing on the way in maybe we're changing over track or something. Flying now, look at this. Right, so we have to start getting ready to slow down again. Trying to get our speed down for the 40. Okay. There's not that many trains on this line. I know if you take the Brighton DLC, that's quite a busy line, and you'll see loads of trains on it. On this particular one, not so many. But that's kind of how it is, you know. It's not a particularly busy line, this. Okay, I overbraked it, but not terribly. Like, I'm getting better. I'm starting to get the hang of it. This is a nice little platform, though, isn't it? Look at that. Yeah, this is a nice little platform. I like this. It's even got a car. Wow. Did that guy just hit a speed bump? Okay, next stop is 11 minutes away. Look at that. And then we're done. Okay, lock the doors. .5 miles. Our final stretch. .70 limit sign. Hopefully we could just punch it for most of this. It would be cool when you see these little footbridges. It'd be cool if every now and again you just saw somebody walking across it, you know. That's the problem, is they need to breathe some life into these scenarios a little bit. You've got your other trains, and that's cool. And then at the platform, you've got passengers roaming around. But in between, it doesn't seem very lived in. You don't see like the occasional person or car just sat at the level crossing. You don't see somebody walking over a footbridge. You don't get that kind of life goes on outside kind of thing. And that tractor could be moving around, you know. Just little details. Be nice to have. Not essential. I still think it's a lovely line, this. It really is. I'm just nitpicking, I guess. Better back off. We are flying down a gradient here. Again though, if you look at that gradient, 1 minute you're going down at 1.1%, next thing you're going back up at 0.4. It is such an undulating line. Oh boy, oh boy. Easy, Tiger. Now we're seeing some really nice stuff. Look at this. Caravans and churches. What more could you want in life? Got a 55 limit incoming. That's old school. Look at that. I wonder what that is. Or was. It's like farming sim, inside train sim. Look at this, there's a speed limit change down to 55 at the point where it's going down a 1.4% gradient. That reminds me of where they put speed cameras on the road. They always put them on downhill sections, have you noticed? Yeah, look at this. This is lovely. This is Cornwall. And a bridge thrown in. Look at that. Get some juice back on. I think, you know, when you do a passenger run in this game, I think at the end of it, the passengers should kind of rate the whole thing. Like they should give you feedback on, you know, how good your whether it was a comfortable ride, whether you were braking too much, braking too hard, whether you were on time, whether your positioning on the platform was good. I know it gives you a feedback on that, but it doesn't come from the passengers. It'd be nice if they got off as well and said a few choice words. Like, well done, driver. Or, wow, that was the worst experience of my life. That could be fun. Okay, 3.5 miles. We know there's like a little branch section here. I don't know what that is though. Looks like a single track, possibly a siding. Oh, I've not seen it used in any scenario, and it does make me wonder what it is. Maybe it's one of those places that you need to go and explore on foot or something. Right, 2.1 mile green aspect. This is just downhill all the way, look at this. Glorious though. Right, 30 miles an hour and 2.2 miles. Okay. So we have a speed limit change as we go into the platform, is what it looks like. This last stretch here is quite easy going. It's just you're just cruising downhill and just tapping the brakes every now and again. Except when you do what I just did, which is leave the brake on. Don't! Look at this. A few of those. We are not far away now. Start getting ready for stopping. I mean, by all accounts, I think we'll be about 2 minutes late off the timetable. But, you know, I think without that door issue, would have been pretty close to being on time. Look at that, I actually got my braking correct, coming down to 30 miles an hour. Amazing! Look at this, guys. I might have saved the best till last. Now, I'm not going to lie, I saw a lot of red lights on the ground and thought, if I underbrake this and I'd roll just a little bit past that stopping point, the scenario will end. So I had a slight panic and I hit the full service, but I don't regret it. Anyway, welcome to Truro. That is us done for this particular video, guys. It wants us to like lock all the doors and we're going to drive back to Penzance, but that's not for this video. Hope that gave you a really nice idea of what the Cornwall DLC is like and what it's like to drive from Penzance up to Truro. As I said, the line does continue onwards to St Austell, but it's not part of this particular scenario. Class 150, we saw a couple of little bugs with the doors, but otherwise quite a fun little drive. That's it from me. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Take care, guys. Happy training.